guys, Chad here from CNR Reviews. We got another brand new 9mm subcompact, and as you guys have known, if you've been following our channel at all, we have been focusing on 9mm subcompacts here for a while, and one of the reasons is they are really popular right now. There's a lot of people that are just now getting into handguns, and a 9mm round is not only inexpensive, it's a very effective round if you have proper shot placement, and it's a very manageable recoil, especially if you're brand new to weapons. So what we're going to be doing here today is we're going to be doing another comparison video, and this is the Beretta Nano versus the Glock 26. Now the Glock 26, also known as a baby Glock, has been out for a long time. It's also brother, the Glock 27 is a 40 cal, very popular. This is the 9mm version, and what we're going to be doing today is basically comparing the size and the features of the weapon. We're going to be weighing it, and then we're also going to be looking at, depending on price, which is one of the biggest choices when purchasing a handgun. A lot of people just jump to the price category, and it doesn't matter what features are on the gun. If they can get it for cheap, they'll get the gun. So we're going to be talking about the price differences between these two. Let's quickly talk about features, and we're going to go ahead and start off with the Nano. We're going to tell you what it comes with and stuff. The Beretta Nano is brand spanking new. It's only been out for around, well, it's been out for about 8 or 9 months as of this point. The gun comes with 2 6-round magazines, which is very nice, especially for the price that the gun is at. And we'll go over that at the end as far as the price. But as far as features go, as you guys can see, it's missing a lot of stuff. It's just flat, plain polymer. They've actually taken away some of the standard features of a normal handgun, which is like the slide lock. As far as a takedown lever, they give you this little takedown lever here where you actually have to stick a casing or something like that into there, twist it, and the gun will come apart. It's got a very Glock-like trigger, very also similar to the XD. And as you guys can see, it's a polymer frame, and it's very nice. It's actually a very light gun. To me, it's very similar to the Car CM9, especially in size. Nice 3-dot combat sights. I'm sorry, I don't know how well you guys can see there. We got a lot of sunlight coming in today. It's very unusual for Washington. And then it has a very interesting little feature here. It's got a little button right there on the frame that you can depress, and it'll actually decock the striker. So you actually don't need to dry fire it unless you want to, which, you know what, you should be able to dry fire any of these weapons. Let's quickly show you the trigger pull, because the trigger pull is very interesting. It's a very long trigger pull. It's one of the longer ones that I've seen. Very smooth though, and then it breaks to the rear. As far as the triggers go, you really have to practice with this gun, to be 100% honest with you. When I initially first took it out to shoot, I noticed that I was shooting very low with the weapon, and it was because I was rushing my trigger. With this one, you really need to take your time, pull that trigger very slow, nice smooth squeeze, and you're dead on. The gun is very accurate. We had an absolute blast with it, even shooting at further distances, and I was very impressed. So Beretta, you guys hit the ballpark as far as accuracy goes with this. We'll be doing some accuracy comparisons at the range and showing you how well it does. Let's talk about the Glock 26. Now this was my very first Glock that I've owned, and as far as features go, it's just like every other Glock. It's very limited. It comes with 3 10-round magazines, and that's because it's the Gen 4. Glock 26 Gen 4. As far as sights, you have the basic Glock sights. They're fantastic. They get the job done. It does have a slide lock. It's not really considered a slide release. They actually want you to release the slide by pulling back and releasing on it. I believe the Gen 4s have the little extended magazine drop, and then you have the nice Glock trigger, which is very similar to the Nano. I'll show you the trigger pull on that. It's very stiff, breaks nice and clean. Now this one does have a 4.5 pound trigger connector, Glock factory trigger connector in it, and so it is going to be a little bit better trigger than what comes standard. And it also has a stainless steel dual spring guide rod, which I prefer instead of the plastic crap. That is actually one thing that I will say on the Nano. Guess what, guys? It has a plastic dual spring guide rod. Not a huge fan of that. I've had plastic guide rods break before, and I'm just not a big fan of them. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the size comparisons, because size is also a big deal when you're choosing a handgun. Now, the Glock 26 actually comes with flat base plates and on their magazines, and I have put extended base plate on all of my Glock mags, so I don't have one that's flat, but we're just going to have to deal with that for the comparison. Let's go ahead and let's look at the length of the width of the slide between these two. I'm going to hold these guys up, and there you go. As you guys can see, the Glock is considerably longer. As far as width goes, the Glock is also thicker than the Nano. And again, I apologize. I hope this is turning out okay with the light, because there's a lot of sunlight that's kind of whiting out the screen for me. Let's look at the grips. Now, the Glock is a double stack mag, so the capacity is a 10+1, and so the Glock is going to be thicker in the handle area. And as you guys can see there, it is considerably thicker. The Nano being a single stack, only being able to do 6+1, in some ways it's going to benefit you because of the thinness. It's going to conceal better. In other ways it's going to hinder you because you just don't have that mag capacity. Let's look how tall they are in comparison. Now, if you were to imagine the Glock without the extender on there, you would see actually the Glock would be very similar, almost identical in height as far as grip goes. So even though it's thicker, you have that extra capacity, it's almost the same height, and that's very impressive to me. Let's do a weight comparison, because weight comparisons are very important too. If the gun is too heavy, it's going to actually protrude, and you're going to see, or you're actually going to print, which means that you're going to be able to see the gun even though it's in your pocket or your jacket or something like that. So we have a little scale here, and we'll get this guy to turn on. Okay, it's going to take a second to boot itself up. Alright, it's on 0 and it's on ounces. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh the Nano, and we're not going to weigh it unloaded. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the equivalent of the capacity that it would usually use, which would be 6+1 for a total of 7. And I have here 115 grain full metal jackets, but any 115 grain hollow point is going to be similar. Remember the differences in the weight. If you use a different type of round, maybe you prefer 124, maybe you prefer the 147, it's going to change the weight of the gun. The bullets do make a difference. So what I have popping up here is total weight for 6+1 plus the Beretta Nano and a magazine is going to be 22.9 ounces. So I think that's a decent weight. I believe the CM9 fully loaded up with 6+1 comes out to be around 20 ounces. So it's very comparable. Let's look at the Glock 26. And remember, this is a 10 round plus 1 for 11. So let's get all these bullets on here. Now again, the weight's going to change. If you use a 90 grain Powerball, the gun's going to be lighter if you use that 147 grain. So we have a total of 11 rounds for a total of 26.7 ounces. Now remember guys, I do not have a plastic dual spring guide rod in here anymore. I have a stainless steel one, so that's going to add a tad bit of weight. And I also put Talon grips, and I also have a little extender, so you'd still be in the 26 ounce range. But as you guys can see, the Glock is going to be heavier than the Nano. And as you can tell by size, of course it's going to be. It only makes sense. So let's talk about price, which is going to be the final talking point. Price, like I said, a lot of people base their purchases off of price only. And when it's coming to guns, you really want to make sure that you feel comfortable with the weapon itself. Instead of basing it off of price, you want to look at everything. And as far as price goes, these are in two entirely different categories. The Nano runs around $380 to $450. It's all going to depend on who you're buying it from. I paid $379 for it, and I think I got a good deal. I've seen these guys go, like I said, all the way up to $450, depending if you're at a big box store or something like that. Now the Glock 26, I purchased for $530, I want to say $530 or $535, somewhere around there. and that was for Gen 4. Came with the 3 magazines, and I was actually very happy with that price, because I've seen these guys go for over $600 at the big box store. So it's really important that you shop the mom and pop shops, that you really take your time and make sure that you don't just buy the first one that you see, unless you're willing to pay the price. A lot of times the mom and pop shops are just going to be that much cheaper than going to the big box stores like Cabela's. So as far as price goes, there is a bigger difference in price. You're at least $100 more for the Glock. You do get 3 mags instead of 2 with the Nano. Just real quick, just reliability points and just some talking points. I have had a chance to shoot the Nano. We've already put 150 rounds through it as of this video, and the Glock, I have, gosh, well over, probably close to 1,000 rounds through it now, and the Glock has been flawless. I actually did have an issue with the Glock, but it was actually a user issue. I actually screwed it up by installing a ghost trigger connector, and the trigger connector was actually a bad one. It was straight, it didn't have the proper curve, and so other than that, the Glock from the factory has been flawless. The Nano, I've actually had 6 failure to ejects within the first 150 rounds, and that's been using 3 different types of ammo: American Eagle, Blazer Brass, and also Cellar and Bellet. Now, I haven't tried MagTech or anything like that yet, but we will be doing that. I will also be trying Arms Core in it. The gun did not function on the last. The gun did not malfunction on the last 40 rounds. So we'll see what happens. But on that first 110, 6 failure to ejects. That's almost on par with the Kel-Tec PF9. I was very disappointed. And I don't know if it's limp wristing. I don't know what it was, but we had other people shoot it as well, and they actually had a couple failure to ejects as well. So we're going to keep trying to break the gun in and see if that becomes an issue. I will do like what I did with the Kel-Tec, and we'll see what Beretta has to say by sending it in. If maybe it was just a break-in thing, and if that's the case, I will definitely let you guys know. So look forward to future videos of that. But guys, this is just a real quick size and feature comparison. If you have any questions regarding the Glock 26, check out our channel. We have a ton of comprehensive videos covering the 26 shooting, especially against other subcompacts in this category. And also check out future videos for the Beretta Nano. We will be having a ton of comprehensive videos on that as well. So, this is Chad from CNR Reviews, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and thanks a lot for watching. Have a good day.